let's go there. Penn State will play Notre Dame for the first time since 2007. This will be the second time. No, I'm sorry, the third time in my life that these programs have played. But there were 15 years, pretty much of Steve's childhood,
It
early
was quality
adulthood,
college football, baby. It was fun.
and I think it came through in your article very well. I think your article this week is on the blog. Notre Dame, Penn State, Notre Dame, count me in. And you listed out all of these reasons that people are fired up. Why does this, for somebody that saw two Notre Dame games, Penn State Notre Dame games in his lifetime, or can remember two, why does this rivalry, or I don't even know if that, why does this matchup mean so much?
I don't think, first of all, as a disclaimer, there's a lot of people, Penn State fans who dislike Notre Dame. I don't dislike them. I don't have any animus for them. But they're college football. And I'm sure that's the thing that ruffles the feathers of some of the Penn State fans who say, well, we're a blue blood, we're a tradition-rich program. It's nice. You're still not Notre Dame. Love you, one of you. We're still not Newt Rockne. We're not. We're Joe Paterno, not dismissing that, but Notre Dame is college football. And in the 80s, they were two very good programs that played meaningful games. I mean, that was, I guess, the biggest part of it. You knew when they were coming to town, it was a big game, and it ended up living up to the hype and the expectations. So I think that's what ingrained it in me. From the coldest game that we talked about several weeks ago and all kinds of things. And I mean, when we made the trip there in 2006, it was pre-renovation to their stadium, no scoreboard, so no replay. Everybody's watching football. They're not going and then looking up, like they're just focused on the
Mhm.
game. Everybody was very nice. So I just think it's that it's almost it's kind of like looking in the mirror a little bit. I mean, I don't feel, I'll say on the one hand, they're college football, but I do feel like it's two programs that have probably going about it the right way, throwing that cliche out there that other programs look at and say, oh yeah, Penn State, they're doing it the right way, roll their eyes, and just as
Right.
people would about Notre Dame. So I mean, they're just two tradition rich. Let's the leprechaun, the knee line, let's hear the bands, the fight songs. I don't know. It's just what I grew up with. Those were meaningful games. And again, we're not going to get them again. I forget who it was on local radio here talking about, the athletic directors will meet this week at the game. They should figure out a way for this series to resume. Never going to happen at Penn State. James Franklin is never going to play a game like this in the regular season because he can play 3 tomato cans at the start of the season, be 3-0, and that's what they need to do, and then go win the conference.
Right.
We're not going to get him. So that's the other reason it's special. We're not going to see this game
That
until
off.
next year in the playoffs if we're lucky,
Right.
and then everything has to fall right.
I think I think there's a lot of reasons in there that make this game also interesting for my generation, I guess would be the way to say that. And I think a lot of it is just like kind of what I tried to write about on the blog this week is like we have heard so many stories from your generation about this is how college football was, this is how Penn State football was. And we never really got a piece of that. Like we would get you get these one-off spectacular games, and yes, like you have conference opponents now, but I don't think Ohio State, Penn State, or Ohio State, Michigan. Well, no, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan, or Penn State, Michigan State has the same kind of references of those went back when Penn State was an independent and could kind of schedule whoever they wanted, and that meant usually a lot more meaningful games or a lot more bigger opponents for longer periods of time. Think about all the times that they played Alabama. Think about even Pitt, if you will. So I think that was kind of neat and comforting to see. And I think for me, I think the other thing, like culturally, like Notre Dame, you said, like Notre Dame is Notre Dame. They're college football, but then there's also the whole religion aspect to it that is tied into it. And that for a lot of people, that is one of the reasons why they are a Notre Dame fan. Or even if there are a Penn State fan, there's a lot of Penn State fans that care about Notre Dame football. Maybe not as fanatically as John Affleck does, but I think, I think that is really what made a lot of this interesting and intriguing to me. And Anna asked me like, who would you rather play? Like as we were watching the game, and I was like, I've already seen Penn State play Georgia. I kind of want to see like I've never seen Notre Dame's helmets in real life. Like I've seen their hockey helmets in real life. I've never seen them with my own eyes. I want to see them with my own eyes. In the same fashion that like I think every Penn State fan should see Penn State's all white uniforms once in their life at least because they're just beautiful. No, I'm excited for it from that aspect as well. I had another thought there. Um, Stressful time in the Samsel for Mrs.
No,
Samsel.
it's funny though because
She's
Mrs. Samsel, who's employed by Notre Dame, right? Susan is no. I mean, it's funny. See some of the stuff that Affleck has gotten. Oh, you're a
right,
Penn State fan. She's like, well, it's not because I work there. Like I'm an alum of there, right? And
right.
her dad, referenced in my column, was a big Notre Dame fan, right? So she grew up. If there's two teams you're probably going to cheer for, it's probably 1A, 1A, and it's never going to be Pitt, even though you grew up outside of Pittsburgh. So no, I don't think stressful. I think it'll be fun watching Thursday. And Thursday, I mean, New Year's Eve, we had friends over, and it was more of a viewing party. Thursday will
Mhm.
just be us. So that'll be kind of fun. I'll be talking to the TV, and she'll be like, "Stop saying shit that you don't have any opinion about, or you do have an opinion about, and it's going to be wrong." Like, and the standing one for me is, I can't believe that Notre Dame is winning with that quarterback, right? And she's like, "You need to stop saying that because they're going to beat Penn State." I'm like, "Okay, but I still can't believe they're winning with that quarterback." So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I am very eager for the X's and O's matchup aspect of it as well. I think Penn State probably matches up pretty well defensively. Interested to see how good Notre Dame's offense is because I think in some ways Penn State hasn't had like a litmus test. I think Notre Dame probably also hasn't had like a true litmus test, and I don't think Georgia necessarily played its best game. But that's not to say that Notre Dame shouldn't be here. I just think that's kind of I don't know. I thought the spread was fair. I think it's like at 3, and I think that's probably about right. And I think you could probably push that down even more. And on a neutral field, yeah, I think it's pretty even in terms of a semifinal matchup. Um, all right, here's what I want to know. I want you to answer my metaphorical questions for me, partly because I haven't written yet this week and I need to write tonight. Is this the biggest Penn State football game in my lifetime? See, it's a
Yeah,
tough
right.
one.
Yeah, like what are your other options? I mean, if you're going to go, we're living through your nostalgia, right? And this is the now. Yes, it's not even close. Like,
Right.
on my list of top 5, yes, because if they win this game, they're playing for the national
Right.
championship. Have they done that in your lifetime?
No.
No. So, yes, this is
Okay.
the
I,
biggest game of your lifetime.
I think that's about where I'm at with it. I don't know that that's necessarily what I'm right, but I just was like thinking about that. I
Well,
guess you could
Aaron
make
texted me this week, right? And he was asking if I were going to the game. I'm like, no. I'm like, are you? And he's like, yeah, because I don't know that I'm ever going to see this again in my lifetime, right?
right.
And it's the first time he's seen it in his lifetime. So, yeah, yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good way to put it. Like, I think particularly for my generation, we've never experienced anything like this. We like what I forget what the phrase was. I think it was one of the baseball teams, like when they go into their postseason. Maybe it was like Pirates, like the like the mania of like a postseason run. We've never like my generation hasn't really had that because like every bowl game they've gone to, even as big as the Rose Bowl 4 times, besides maybe the '94 one, which is hard to count because I was not even one. Like I think like we've never been on this journey before. You've gotten to experience this journey in a way, but it's also still a little bit different for you too, right?
Well, no, and I feel it's funny reading your stuff, and we've talked about it again tonight. Like I feel, and I even when talking with Russ and them, being kind of grumpy about it, was it a big game? Now it's top 5. Yeah, we've had these experiences, right? And I feel like some of the older fans, like, and it's kind of to the James Franklin thing. We're not giving them, don't give them enough credit. Yeah, we've seen this before. No, we haven't. Like we haven't. We have to stop doing that, right?
Right.
We haven't seen this before. This is new. Even if they don't win a national championship, we haven't seen this
Right.
before, right? I mean, even 2016 when they won the conference championship, nobody was expecting everything. That was a good little ride. I don't know that we're ever going to see this again. Well, here we are. This is even better than that. It just is. And I don't know that have embraced it enough or given enough credit because I've got 82 and 86 in my pocket, right? And it's right. I mean, it is. It's kind of like
No,
you're unwilling to invest a little bit or appreciate how special it is because you've already got those to your credit, and you're not seeing it through the eyes like you are some other people. This is the biggest game of your lifetime, and it's one of the bigger ones of mine that I've been able to really appreciate.
Right.
The difference between, like, say, 86 in this is 86 is an independent. Every game mattered. Like that stinking Notre Dame game during the regular season, you knew if you lost, it was over. You knew if you lost to Maryland, it was over. I mean, talk about 1-0, and it's the same thing. They just didn't say it that way. You couldn't afford to stumble back then.
Right.
And now we're at the point where they can't afford to stumble. So, yeah, like I'll try to be a little more appreciative of it as we get into Thursday night.
But what I laugh when you say that, because I have never got more, not aggressive, but like intense text message during anything. Hey, I got something for you. I'm gonna write for you. Like it was you sent me a text message, and then the second that the Notre Dame game went final, you were like, "Here's the column." Like you were like, I was like,
well, but I could
excited.
write about what was happening. Like I knew what was going on, and I knew the stories. Like
yes, and I thought it was just like I could tell Steve's excited.
Yeah, I mean, and from a journalism side, like those little bullet points and storylines are the bullet points and storylines of the week. Like
right.
that we found after the game. So I'm like, okay, this isn't going to change. This is decent content for us, and I'm feeling it, and this is going to work, right?
Yeah, and it did.
So yeah, but I think that's part of it. Is like I do think there are fans probably older than me that do have, we got 82 and 86 in our pocket. So what? Right? We've been there, done this before, but we haven't been there, done that before. And to one of the, I don't know if it was this column or if I wrote it for Altoona. Like I don't want to hear about James Franklin anymore. Like, and I know, God, I can't believe I'm the one for like the fourth or fifth time this season saying get off the guy's back. No other coach in America is doing this for their. I mean, he's going to be he's one of four as of Thursday night. Even if they lose, he was one of four. Nobody else is coming in here and doing that for the program. He's your guy. At some point, shut up and go on the bandwagon. Like, again, be nice. Did some things in the community, but still, shut up and go on the bandwagon. I know. I feel like that's my one disclaimer. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's fair. I think it's warranted that we know of, at least. I guess we'll put it that way. The snowplow has finally gone down the street. It is 8:30 at night, and the snowplow has finally.
First time of the day?
Yes.
Wow.
We got 5 inches, and there was somebody in our cul-de-sac doing donuts earlier, taking advantage. It was not me. They were just taking advantage of that.
Nice.
No, I think that's, and I think going that. I think the other thing is, like, if we want to kind of continue with this nostalgia theme, the other part about this is, for my generation, the Rose Bowl, or I'm sorry, the Orange Bowl, that 2005 team, that for me, and I'm sure for your daughters even, galvanized their Penn State fandom, right? Like that's the peak of when they really became a true Penn State fan. I don't know if that's the best way to say that, but that's how I at least feel about it. And so many memories are related back to that Orange Bowl game, and then it's like, wait a second, now we're going to the Orange Bowl, like we're going to that game, like as an adult, I can actually like kind of experience that, feel that, and I think that's another reason why I'm excited, probably annoying the hell out of Anna this week, even though it's already Monday, just like all these like travel questions, etc. I think there's so many unique and fun reasons. And then, oh yeah, by the way, if they win, they're going to a national championship. The first time they would play in a true national championship like game post BCS era, I guess, or BCS and on era. No, I'm hopeful about Thursday night. I think they've proved that they can play with the top teams like that. I think sometimes there's just some momentum that teams like this have, and I kind of hope and think and believe that Penn State probably might have it. So we'll see what happens. But I at least feel good about how things are going to go, and I might eat crow on that, and that's fine. But at least I'm enjoying the feeling right now.
No, I'm optimistic about it, and I'll utter it here one more time and not say it Thursday night with Susan so she gets mad at me. I cannot believe Notre Dame is winning with that quarterback. Like, he's a nice enough kid. They can't throw the ball. Like,
there it is, dude. It is.
So we'll see. But then again, he can't catch the ball, so we'll see.
No, that's fair. That's fair.